Hey guys, it's me, Maddie, and you're never gonna guess where I am right now. Let me show you. So yeah, we're actually staying at an ice hotel. This whole thing is made out of ice, and this is gonna be our bed for tonight. Me and Peter are sharing this thing. It's gonna be cozy, fun. But you guys saw all that cinematic B-roll, all those smooth shots, and actually none of that stuff was shot on a gimbal. I still actually prefer a glide cam really often, just because there's no electronics, it never fails, it's just reliable, easy to transport, I can just throw it wherever, it's all good. And a gimbal can be super expensive, so I thought I'd share some tips on how to use a $200 glide cam to get super steady shots, smooth shots in your B-roll footage. Now right away, some of you are saying that Steadicams are not cheap, and that's only sort of true. Yeah, if you buy new right now, they're a little bit more expensive, but actually I bought the GlideCam XR2000. It was the right way originally. And this thing only costs about $200 American. And also I checked online and you can find glide cams, even the better, newer versions, for around $200, which is a really good deal. And a GlideCam 2000 can easily hold a 1DX, no problems at all. So this is actually the gimbal that I've been using for probably the last 4 years for all of my travel stuff. Everything that you guys have seen on travel fields, unless I'm actually reviewing a gimbal, has been shot on this thing. And gimbals would be super sketchy to buy used, but glide cams, steady cams, not much can break. And if something's broken, you can tell right away that, okay, this thing's broken, it doesn't work. So you can easily buy a used glide cam, no problems at all. And then the second complaint people are gonna give is, well, it's super hard to use a glide cam or a steady cam. And I don't think that's actually really true. It does take a little bit of practice, a little bit more practice than a gimbal maybe, but there's a lot of things about a glide cam, a steady cam, that make it way easier to use. So here's some things that you need to do to get the most out of your steady cam. First off, we need to make sure the steady cam is balanced. That's super important. If it's not balanced properly, it's gonna look like a drunk person's filming. It's just gonna be all over the place really bad. So the first thing you need to do is put about the same amount of weight on the bottom as there is on the top. So depending on what camera and lens you're using, you need to put about the same amount of weight on the bottom. Then the next step is the drop test. And you're gonna hold it horizontally like this by the handle, and you're just gonna let go. And it should take about 2 seconds for it to go from horizontal to vertical. Once you have that, then you know you have a good amount of weight on the bottom. And if it's off by just a little bit, you can just adjust the height of this bar, and that's gonna make it drop slower or faster depending on how long you make it. Next, what you're gonna do is you're gonna put the Steadicam on a flat surface, you're gonna grab it by the handle, and you're just gonna lift it up with one hand. And right away we can see that it's not balanced right now. It's tilting in different directions. It should just stay the same when I pick it up. So what you do here is you do the same test again, you pick it up, and whatever direction it's falling, you need to move the camera in the opposite direction. So here it's falling backwards and a little bit to the right. So we're just gonna move it forwards a little bit and a little bit to the left, and that should do the trick. Let's see. And in the beginning, this is a little bit tricky. People don't like this process. But once you get used to it, and then once it's balanced, it's super easy. It doesn't really go off balance. You might have to do a tiny little adjustment. All right, so now when we pick it up, it stays straight. It doesn't tilt over. It's not moving all over the place. It's nice and good. And my real final test is just picking it up and then moving it back and forth like this. And if it doesn't start going all crazy, then you're pretty good. You can test it out. You're probably good to go. And in my opinion, a gimbal is way harder to balance. There's so many different areas that you need to balance. With a Steadicam, you're just moving it forwards or backwards or to the side. Once that's done, and then the height, you're good to go. That's it. There's no other tweaking you need to do. So number one, make sure it's balanced real well. Number two, you need to hold the glide cam properly, and this is a really important thing. And the way you hold a glide cam or steady cam, sorry, I keep calling it a glide cam because I always just use glide cams and I'm just so used to it. But the way you hold it is one hand, the right hand, your dominant hand, is gonna be on the handle. And that's the hand that's carrying all the weight. The other hand is not carrying any weight, and then what the left hand does is goes right underneath this bearing, this spot where the camera spins. And this hand is used to point the camera. So if you want to go left, you're going to use the left hand to point the camera to the left. So the left hand is just simply pointing the camera, and your right hand is carrying all the weight. That's the proper way to hold a Steadicam. I've seen some people just running around one hand like this, and that is not a good thing. You always want two hands, but this left hand is kind of just loosely holding and turning the camera, but it's not carrying any of the weight. If that left hand is carrying weight, it's going to be shaking all over the place, and it's no good. This is probably a good time to thank Epidemic Sound for hooking this up. I never thought I'd be sleeping in a fridge. And if you need some good music for your YouTube videos, check them out. Link down below. Number 3, you want to be doing the ninja walk, basically heel toe, heel toe. This is going to make things a little bit more smooth. So the hard thing about Steadicams is that they're not as perfect as gimbals. Gimbals, just a newbie can pick up a gimbal and walk and it's going to be smooth, whereas with a glide cam, a Steadicam, you need to practice it a little bit. But one of the big keys is this ninja walk heel toe action. And it's super simple, it's just like this. Heel toe, heel toe. Heel toe, heel toe. Super easy, it's not hard, it's actually really simple. Just practice it, walk around before you go on a shoot, and walk around heel toe like a ninja as smoothly as you can, and that's gonna help a lot when you're using a Steadicam. Number 4, make sure you're getting a variety of shots. Don't get stuck just doing the same kinds of, follow shots or walking beside somebody. Think out your shots, plan them out. Some of my favorites to do are circling around people, whether it's a really fast circle a little bit farther away or going up really close and just doing a really slow, smooth circling around a person. That's always really cool. And then I like doing the dolly in or dolly out. But this is something that you really need good autofocus for because you can't be manual focusing while you're moving it. So that's one of the big reasons that I use Canon, because I can trust their autofocus. So keep that in mind, but try a whole bunch of different shots. Don't just get stuck standing there with a glide cam. You're gonna look like an idiot and your footage is gonna suck. And then lastly, just know the limits of the tool that you're using. No tool is perfect, so a Steadicam or a glide cam is not better than a gimbal, and a gimbal is not better than a Steadicam. They're used for different purposes and they give a different look. So know the limits of the tool that you're using. For example, a Steadicam is not the best for precise, exact movements. A gimbal is better at that. It's a more clinical, clean, perfect look. Also, a Steadicam sucks in high winds. It just throws off the balance immediately because the wind hits the camera and throws off the whole balance, whereas a gimbal can use those electronic motors to keep that balance going. But then there's some really big advantages to Steadicams. For example, if you need to do really quick movements, you can move this as fast or as slow as you need. You don't need to adjust anything, whereas with a gimbal, you need to be adjusting the parameters, the settings, in order to get a faster or slower movement. This is a little bit more kinetic, more fluid, a little bit more natural in look. Also, one of the really big advantages, probably the biggest reason why I still use this glide cam, is it's so easy to set up. Once you have it balanced like this, I just have this base plate on. You can literally just snap it off and you can snap it back on and you're good to go. No more balance needed like with a gimbal. It's ready to go. I can just take it on and off just like that. It's so important. I cannot stress this enough, especially when I was filming weddings. This was so good because I could quickly take it off, put it on a monopod, take it off, put it back on the glide cam. I could just go back and forth all day long, super fast, whereas with a gimbal, no chance. It would take way too long to just set it up and rebalance and all that stuff. One of the things that I don't like about Steadicams is that it's really hard to do low to the ground shots because you have this long stick. You actually have to put the glide cam upside down, and then I actually just kind of hold it loosely from the top here. You don't want to hold it too tight or else you're going to get rotation as you walk. But I can still get some pretty cool shots with this, but gimbals are definitely way better for low to the ground shots, which you guys know I like a lot. Those, feet walking shots. I do a lot of those. And then lastly, one of the big things that I like about the GlideCam 2000 is that it can take a 1DX Mark II easily, no problems at all. It's not crazy heavy, and I can still put on a heavy camera on there. Whereas if I want to do the same thing with a gimbal, I'd probably have to get a pretty big gimbal, and then I don't want to be carrying that around. It's going to slow me down. I have yet to find a gimbal that I like way more than this GlideCam XR 2000, 4 years old. It's probably way older, but I got this 4 years ago. I like this thing. I have not found a gimbal that I like more yet. Hopefully it'll come soon because there are some downsides, like I said, to this thing, but not yet. I haven't found it. So there's some tips on how to use a Steadicam properly to get some really nice shots, and I guess also some reasons on why I still choose to use the GlideCam over any of the gimbals that I've tested out. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I'd love for you to be a part of this community. I think we're gonna hit 300K real soon, which is just insane, and I love having all you guys be a part of this community. Keep commenting down below. I love hearing your guys' feedback and just learning from each other, and I'm gonna try to keep answering as many comments as I can. All right, that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. And that's how we Steadicam.
Can you, oh my goodness, no. That's terrible. I can't believe you did that.
And that's how the fins do it.
Oh my goodness, you are crazy. Never, never.